So, thank everyone for joining us for the Social Media Monday, planning events using online sites to create face-to-face meetings. My name is Stephanie Gurk, and I'm a project and corporate coordinator with Campaign Consultation, and I'll be quickly going over a little bit of housekeeping that will help you in this webinar as we go forward. A few tips for using WebEx, which is the virtual workshop tool that we're using today. If your internet connection, please reconnect using the link that was emailed to you. If you lose your phone connection, please redial the phone number and rejoin. If you have any questions or have any issues with WebEx, please dial their support line at 1-866-229-3239. And also like you to make a note of the phone call in case you get disconnected. You can dial back in. I'm recording this webinar, and it'll be available on the Vista Campus Social Media Monday landing page, along with the archives of all the previous webshops that we've already done. And all links during this webshop will be made available at the end of the presentation. And I'd like to now turn it over to Danielle Ricks, Social Media Specialist at Campaign Consultation, who will introduce today's speakers.
Great, so much, Stephanie, and thank you everyone for joining us. We've got a packed webshop for you. As Stephanie said, I am the Social Media Specialist for Campaign Consultation, and we're very, very pleased to have Crystal Bowles with us. She is the Maryland-Delaware State Program Director for the Corporation for National Community Service, Maryland-Delaware Corporate State Office. Also joining us is Sharon Reb. She is the Project Specialist at Campaign Consultation, Inc. And them for joining us. So today's agenda, we're going to be reviewing planning tools. So these are tools that you can use online for face-to-face meet. And the three that we're going to talk about today are Meetup at meetup.com, Eventbrite at eventbrite.com, and Plancast at plancast.com. We'll go over a case study with one of the Vista leaders who tells us how she uses one of these tools to build up her community and outreach, and then we will make sure that we leave time for Q&A, question and answers at the end of this, but please feel free during the workshop to go ahead and leave us a question in the chat feature if something pops up, and if we can't answer it right away, we'll be sure to answer it towards the end of the workshop.
Hello, this is Sharon Reb. On your right, there is a short evaluation of 3 questions. If you would take a minute or two to respond to the evaluation questions by just pointing and clicking on your answers. These help us tailor our presentations to your needs and expectations. And we'll give you, at the end of the, or a few minutes later, we will give you the results of the poll.
Thank you, Sharon. So, as I mentioned, we're going to go over 3 tools, Eventbrite, Meetup, and Plancast. And Meetup is an online social networking portal, and it facilitates offline group meetings in various locations around the country. We're specifically going to talk today about our Vista Meetup site, and it makes it easy for the Vistas to come together and organize a local group. And next up will be Eventbrite, and it's a website that allows event organizers to plan and set up tickets and promote events of any size, and you can publicize them across your social networks to Facebook, Twitter, and other areas. But the cool thing about this is that there's the ticketing portion of it. And many of the tickets and many of the events that you do may be free. It gives you an opportunity for people to register and to actually see who's coming and to get people to RSVP in advance. And now we're going to go to Plancast. And Plancast helps you find out about events and other social activities or organizing activities or fundraising or volunteer activities ahead of time, and to find out what the other Vistas, leaders, or other people in your Vista community may be doing using that particular tool. So if we have the results, we'll keep going, and we don't, so let's just go ahead and let's fast forward the slide, and let's go ahead and turn this over to Crystal. And Crystal, are you there? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I sure can. Thanks
that darn
so much
button.
for joining us. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here with us. And I just wanted to ask you a little bit about your impressions. You came with us to our pilot, very first Vista meetup here at the Campaign Consultation offices in Baltimore, Maryland, and you were gracious enough to join us, and we appreciate that. Tell us a bit about it and what the value is that you've been able to see firsthand, just being at one meetup and then as it's grown over the last couple of months.
Well, first I wanted to thank you for inviting me to participate. I'm hoping that everybody who's on this call has an opportunity to take advantage of these tools because from a state office perspective, those are invaluable, I would say. And so I'm really thrilled to do this. In our states, in Maryland and Delaware, we have a number of large projects where there are multi-sites. Sometimes there's across the state. And with the larger projects, they have ability to bring their vistas together so they can network and use each other as resources. But that doesn't always happen if a vista's on a project by themselves. So I find the meetups to be really invaluable. They help in the area of outreach. It gives state office staff an opportunity to meet vistas, and the vistas can also give them a chance to organize and get together. And some of the things that happen, I mean, it's an opportunity to share experiences. You can ask each other questions, work together. Sometimes, at the meetup that I was at in Baltimore, I had a number of conversations where vistas started talking about their projects and what they were doing, and opportunities for them to work together kind of materialized. They were able to share ideas and best practices, talk about the tools that they used, et cetera.
It was a great for us as well, and it was really a great opportunity for a lot of the vistas who maybe only emailed each other to actually get together and see each other face to face. And I think that's one of the things that we want to talk about, although this is Social Media Monday web shops and we're always about new tools that people can use online. We're actually kind of reviewing this a little bit and saying use these tools, but come offline and meet face-to-face. And it's a great opportunity to come together, and you can actually impact quite a bit of change when you're face-to-face and eyeball with somebody.
Right. I will speak for my colleagues in the state offices, but in the event that you are able to plan up, we are there to help you. So this really helps the state offices bring this together in a way that we haven't been able to in the past. So it's really an opportunity for us all to be working together for in our communities and to get to each other, to kind of build that energy.
Right, and
that happens with vistas.
It's important to have the state offices championing this cause and being cheerleaders for this. So we appreciate that, and I'm sure the members do as well. So thank you so much for that.
Sure,
I think we're ready for the poll. Steph, do we have results?
We are. For our first question, if those of you are responsible for planning our VISTA events, the majority of the group is. We have 35% that plan 1 to 3 a year. A majority is using Facebook to plan these events, followed by Meetup. And most are looking to meet more face-to-face, as well as recruit volunteers.
Guess what, you guys? You are in the right place, and we've got quite a few things for you. Facebook definitely is someplace where you can do events. We don't want to start that, but we wanted to give you some other opportunities and other ways to use it. To use tools online so that you can do some face-to-face organizing. So Stephanie is going to give me rights, and I'm going to share my desktop, and we're going to go to our Vista Meetup site live. Okay. And can everybody see? Are we okay? Great. So this is when you land to the Vista homepage, and obviously you'll find us at the links that we'll provide for you, but it's vistameetup.com/. And here, the link on the side are the list to all of our members. We have 174. When you get to the Vista Meetup site, there's a few little questions we want to ask so that we get to know you and we know a little bit about you. So you'll do those first. You can upload a photo and see how helpful it is when people upload photos so that you get to see what they look like too. So take the opportunity to do that when you join. So that community. You also have an opportunity after you've gone to a meetup to do a group review, and helps the leader, whoever is planning the meetup, better organize themselves themselves for the next one, or to see if they knocked it right out the park and it met your expectation. Here, you would click for upcoming events. We have 2 scheduled, and Lisa, who's going to be joining us later, our Vista leader, is going to tell you about this one that she is planning. Under events, and you also see some of the past events that we have and some of the past events that the other Vistas have set up if you need ideas about what you can do in your particular community. And as you can see, it's been very active, and really like the ones that were done for AmeriCorps Week. They got a great response. And down menu, and it'll let you see some of the other ones that we've done. This one at the Corporation for National and Community Service, 60 people attended. And the people who have been there. So the other one I wanted to show you is that if you do have a meetup, we very much encourage you to upload photos. And it gives people an idea of who was there, an example of what happened. And it's an archiving tool as well, for the opportunity to see what you did while you were at the meetup. Out of it a little bit. When you first join, they're going to ask you to sign in with a login name. And with your login name, you can answer the 2 questions that's going to be asked of you. Basically, why are you here? Why would you like to use Meetup? What is your role? And you can organize and schedule a meetup. But instead of me just walking you through that, I think it's going to be a lot easier if we just go ahead and let Lisa do that, because she already has one that's coming up. So we can better this. Stop sharing desktop. The next slide. And this, you can get started. To become a member, you just go to www.meetup.com/meetup. You'll get your email and password. You can also log in with your Facebook account. That is optional. You don't have to do that. You can do an email and a password if you don't want to connect it to Facebook. There's instructions, and you'll get a confirmation email back from Meetup. You just have to go ahead and click on that, fill out the short poll, and then you're up and running, and you can create an event. Lisa, are you with us?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lisa, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody where you are right now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for checking in with the Social Media Monday. My name is Lisa Sexton. I am a Vista leader in Baltimore City. I am stationed at the Greater Homewood Community Corporation, and I help out about 13 Vistas in the area working at various nonprofits throughout Baltimore City.
A big Lisa. And you're actually at our Baltimore meetup as well.
Yes, I was.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you rights, and you're going to go ahead and walk us through how, whoa, I just lost you, how to set up.
Okay, great. First, I'll give a little bit of background. I initially got connected with Campaign Consultation in the fall. They kind of approached me, and they said that the Vista leader before me had been talking with them a little bit about having events and getting AmeriCorps members more connected. So Campaign Consultation wanted to kind of do a trial run and sort of test out a meetup event to sort of see what are some best practices, to see what's effective, how to make it work, etc. So I helped out with this event on October 24th. It was a meet and greet held at Campaign Consultation. And so I kind of helped figure out how to get the word out, how to encourage people to join the website, how to get them to sign up. And I think it was a really effective way to use Meetup. As a Vista leader in Baltimore, I have access to the Vistas the cohort that I'm in charge of, which is about, it ranges throughout the year, but 10 to 15 individuals. But there are a lot more AmeriCorps members serving in Baltimore that I don't necessarily know, even in Maryland and beyond. So it was a really great way of ensuring that the word got out to as many people as possible. So the meetup was created, and I essentially was able to help use that to forward this link on to other Vista leaders, to other AmeriCorps members, and because I don't necessarily know all of the AmeriCorps members myself, it was a great way for people to kind of pass on that link and to get the word out without me having to actually know them or have an email address for an individual. So it was able to extend the invitation further than my networks actually reached. And as you can see, we had about 40 people attend. It was a really great turnout. There were a lot of people there, people that I didn't know, people whose projects I was unfamiliar with, and I think it was a really great opportunity to make some of those personal connections that could be followed up with later, and for people who had similar interests as you or working on similar projects. So because of the success of that, I went ahead and did...
Hold on a second. You have to share your desktop with us, so we're not seeing what you're seeing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. If you go back into WebEx and go up to the top where it says share on the left-hand side and click on that, then we'll be able to see your desktop.
Left-hand side, share.
The top of the page.
Okay.
Left-hand side. There you go. Now we see what you see.
Okay, my apologies.
Oh, no problem.
I'm new at this. Okay, so to go back to the page. So after that one event in October, I decided to follow up with another attempt using Meetup. So I did this Life After Vista panel, and I again used Meetup because I wanted to extend the invitation to anyone and everyone. I was putting effort to make this an interesting panel, an opportunity for people to get together and talk about next steps after AmeriCorps. So I wanted as many people as possible to benefit, those that I knew and those that I didn't know. So I put it on Meetup, and just to give you an idea of how great of a reach it has, I had people from as far away as Iowa and the Midwest contact me about this and ask me how they could be a part of it, if they could get the information, if they could, file the information that was shared. So because of that, I ended up doing a live Twitter session with the hashtag #LifeAfterVista because I realized that people were interested in this and wanted as many people as possible to get some use out of this. So yet again, it was a great opportunity to reach out to people I didn't know. People from as far away as D.C. that I'd never met showed up, and it was just a really great way of people coming together and learn a little bit more about AmeriCorps and sharing their experiences. So the most recent one that I did is one of the suggested meetups. It's suggested because in order to actually have your meetup presented on the website, you have to have 3 people sign up for it. So the creator, yourself, would be the first one, and then you have to wait till there are 2 more people. So in June, I have organized for an AmeriCorps build with Habitat for Humanity. It's a really great, well-known organization, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to have kind of an AmeriCorps-sponsored build day. So I put that on the website, and I'm using Meetup because, again, it can extend further than my personal networks allow. So it's open for anyone and everyone to see, and the word gets passed around, and it spreads that way. I wanted to show you how to actually suggest a new meetup. So for that, I'm going to create a makeup one. So please do not put it in your calendars because it will not happen. But this is how it works. You go to suggest a new meetup. It's a very simple, straightforward process. You give your meetup a title. I'm going to do an example. We're going to have an end of service celebration. So you give your meetup a title, then you can tell about the details, and that section is pretty much the section where you can share as much as possible. So if you want RSVPs, if you're going to have food, any of those more specific things, put as much as you can in there. There's not really a place otherwise to put it. So my details are going to be, can you believe your year of service is already over? Join your fellow AmeriCorps members as we reflect on our experiences, celebrate our accomplishments, and share what's in store next.
Fast typing, Lisa.
Then down here for when, you can suggest a date. So I'm just going to pick let's do July 20th. and the time. And again, the details section is good because there's not an option to say what time it ends. So if you want to tell people it'll be an all-day event, that would be important information to include in the details section. And then as for where, I want to use a recent place. I want to find a place. So I am going to have it be at Joe Squared. I'm going to give you some options. I'm going to have it be at Joe Squared. So that's pretty much it. It's very straightforward. I'm going to suggest the meetup and then a website. And for anyone who wants to see, they can get later. And again, you need 2 more RSVPs until this meetup is announced to the group. But it's there, and it's in the suggested. Let me go back to the suggested. It would be now a suggested meetup right down there.
So can you go one page, Lisa? I just wanted to point out something to everyone. When she was building it, on the top where it says next to 2 more RSVPs needed, invite friends, that's where you can send that out as an email to those other 2 folks who want to get on so that you'll have at least 3 people so we can announce it. Now, the meeting organizers can announce as well, but oftentimes the organizers may not know that you have suggested an event. If you can invite friends to get just 2 more people to say yes, they're going, then it pops up on the Meetup site as an already established event. And also, if you'll notice under the title, there are 2 ways that you can share it. You can share it to Facebook and Twitter, so it'll go right to your Facebook account. It'll go to your whatever Twitter account you assign to this. And you can print tickets to this. You can also export your invite once it's done. Export the invitation, but then you can also export the registrants for the people who registered, so you can keep track of who came. So those are things that you can use and tools that are good to use for this site as well. All right, we are going to grab rights back from you. I'm going to let Stephanie do that because I'm not as proficient as this. There's no telling who I might give rights to if I grab them. They wouldn't go back to me. So, alrighty. So we went over her event that she set up and that she participated in Baltimore. And we talked a little bit about how you can promote it with externally, either via email, Facebook, or Twitter. But there are also some tools inside of Meetup that will help you promote it. You can invite friends to the Meetup or other visitors to the Meetup right from the site. Once you have your Meetup established, right from meetup.com, and it'll be a little tab that says promotion. You can create name tags, postcards, flyers or tear-off tabs, tabletop signs if you need them, even business cards if you don't have them already to send, and these are logos that you can add to your blog or emails or any other places that you might want to send it. The next thing I want to talk about is Eventbrite. And Eventbrite, we're going to go there live in just a minute. Here we go. So Eventbrite is a great place to set up ticketed events. Okay, because I have to share my desktop. Thank you. Believe it's just you. I mess up too. So to set up an event on Eventbrite, instead of me walking you through it, we thought we would play this video for you that's going to take you through all of the steps. I hope the volume's okay. Get ready, because here we go.
I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up your event registration page and get started selling tickets in minutes. Let's begin visiting the home page at eventbrite.com and clicking on the Create Event button. If signed in, you will be taken directly to the event creation page. The first step is to name your event. In order to sell tickets to your event, you'll want to add ticket information. Click Create a Ticket. In the pop-up box, enter a name for the ticket, the price of the ticket, and the quantity available. Once your tickets are free, you need to set up a payment processor. Standard credit card processing offers the easiest registration flow and accepts all major credit cards. Decide whether you want to be paid by check or direct deposit to your bank account. Both options will pay you 5 days after the event concludes, giving you time to issue refunds if necessary. A A third alternative for credit card processing is PayPal. You need to provide just the email address associated with your PayPal account. As tickets are sold, payments will be deposited directly into the PayPal account with this email address. Step 3 is to add detailed information about your event. You can type directly into the editor and make styling adjustments using the toolbar above. And if you are familiar with HTML programming, you can even edit the HTML source. Plus, an optional feature below allows you to personalize the event URL. You can upload an image or logo to be displayed in the upper right-hand side of your event registration page. A neat aspect of this feature is that the logo will also be included in the tickets that are emailed to attendees. For step 4, fill in the date and time of your event. If your event has multiple times or dates, Eventbrite has a powerful repeating event feature. In step 5, fill in the event's venue information. By default, Eventbrite will display a Google map pinpointing your event's location. Step 6 enables you to include information about the event organizer. The description field supports some basic formatting functions as well as full HTML editing. You can choose a color palette for your page in step 7. And step 8 allows you to select the appropriate privacy settings. Choosing public will make the event searchable on the internet and display it in Eventbrite's online directory. Choosing private will make it unlisted. If you are satisfied with your event for now, you can save the draft. Or if you're ready to open up ticket sales, click Save and Publish. And that's it. In just a few minutes, your event page has been created, and you are ready to start selling tickets. You can take advantage of many more features that Eventbrite offers to help you promote and manage your event online, such as attendee questionnaires, email invitations, Facebook integration, promotional widgets, and discount codes. There's much more at eventbrite.com. Check it out.
Okay, so a couple of the features that I wanted to point out to you all on Eventbrite.com was where she talked about the ticket and one that may be beneficial to you all when you're creating a ticket, and these are for free events as well, is that you can actually name the ticket you want, make free, and qualify it. So say you're having an event and you want, at least 50 Vista Dream Big, 50 Vistas there, and you save. And those are for members. And let's say you wanted some leaders there as well. And maybe you want 10 there. You can keep down the line, and maybe you wanted someone from the state office. We want there. When people, and you can move these around, they can go up and down in terms of the hierarchy of which ones you want first and which ones you want second. It allows you to see of the people who are coming what category they fit in. You can also do, if it was an education event, you do parents, students, volunteers, on down the list so that you could see what your event was made of and who was coming. You don't have to know a lot of code to prevent details. You know that she embedded some logos. If you have them, that's great. The event details go here. And it's as simple as clicking on this button, insert an image. If you have a photo or a logo that you want to put in, you can also insert video, which is oftentimes a great way to promote your event. If you have something that you're trying to explain and it's easier and you have a quick 2 or 3 minute video, something quick that you can put up, that's a great place to put it. So those are some ways that you can structure your event. But the other thing that's really neat about Eventbrite is that you can have a page specifically for causes. So depending on what your cause is, they have a way for you to integrate tools and share ideas via their blog for your particular cause. And in addition to that, they have an organizing tool to plan community and fundraising events. So for those of you on the call who do fundraising, this is a great way for you to use this particular tool. They have all-in-one event planning solutions. You can sell tickets. They have a lot of integration, and they have a lot of information on their blogs to help you in terms of how you can do workshops and plan events and how you can do fundraisers. So these links are available towards the end of the webinar. We'll also put them in the chat for you. But this is a great place to start. And just like Meetup also has integration for social media, which she pointed out. So once you're done your event, you can post it on your website, blog, Facebook, Twitter, and so forth. Right. So then the next place that we wanted to go is to Plancast. And plan for you to keep up with things that other people are doing. So you can create a group on here, or you can add a plan, and here you can let other people see what you're doing. Tell your plan, and they can say, yes, count me in, I want to do it as well. Or you can use this as a search engine to say, okay, what conferences are coming up? So you can hear and look and see, well, are there any conferences that I'm interested in? And if there are, you click on, and you just have to be careful that when you do click on conference, that if there are any tickets that are being sold, that you also click that link. Sometimes there's a tendency to say, well, I clicked on Plancast and I said, count me in, I'm going to show up and it's going to be okay. Sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't, depending upon whether or not they're selling tickets. You can use this as a search engine, and let's say we wanted to see volunteer opportunities there were, and we would just click that, do the search. And somehow, some way, it also knows what town you're in. And let's say we wanted to see volunteer. Let's give us a bigger search. Oh, if I actually spell it right. I'm not as good as you, Lisa.
It's okay.
My spelling's right here. There we go. So these are some of the events that are happening around our area. And let's go look and see volunteering at Food Bank and Brunch. Sounds interesting. As you can see, they're listing all the information for it, where it's located. But we're going to take you back to Meetup for more information. Sometimes they'll take you back to Eventbrite, where you have to actually purchase a ticket. If you wanted to join, you would simply click here, and you would be listed as some of the people that are going there. All right. So I am going to stop sharing my desktop, go back to the presentation. Talked about setting up an event, right? That you can set up specifically volunteer events, and you can recruit volunteers with Eventbrite. Community building there, and we talked about Plancast. And a couple of things people say, well, what can I use Plancast for? It helps find out about other events and social activities and organizing activities that are happening in your particular area. And you can use it. Why should you use it instead of Facebook events? I know a lot of people are using Facebook, but with these sources, they're inviting particular people to particular events. With Plancast, you can sort of galvanize yourself around topics that are interesting to you and topics that are going to be interesting to the VISTA community. And then why did you share your plans? Well, of course, it's because you want to come to your event, and that's why you'll be sharing your plans on Plancast. But sometimes you want to know what the other VISTAs in your neighborhood are going to, or the other VISTAs in your community are going to, or maybe what the other volunteers in your community are going to, and Plancast is an easy way to do that. And getting started is very easy. You just sign in with the email account. You join Plancast similarly to VISTA Meetup and to Eventbrite, and you create a plan, you create your email, and off you go. Okay. Now, we wanted to open it up to questions because I know we covered a lot of information, and we covered a lot of different events. If anyone has any questions, please let us know.
At this time, I would like to remind everyone, if you'd like to ask a question, press *1 on your telephone keypad. We will pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster.
A question for those of you on the call: would you use any of these tools, or Facebook still seem like it's the best tool? Yep, I see something coming up.
At campaign consultation while we're waiting for questions, I can answer Daniel's question that I used Eventbrite for a benefit for a friend who's a medical issue. It was extremely easy to use. We actually did charge for the tickets, so we had to deal with the credit card authorization fees, but all participants found it extremely easy, and we were able to raise a deal of money without having to work extremely hard to manage our registration.
First question comes from the line of Vincent Marcullo.
We do have a question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I may be technically challenged, but I'm still not certain about if you're going to use Meetup. I want that Meetup notice to go to all of my Rhode Island Vista members.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
Once your Meetup is announced, that is, once either the organizer announces your Meetup or 3 people have said they're going, it tells you your event is now on the main page. And for that main page, it's a one-click button where you can send it out to all members on the page, and you can also send it via email to whomever you would like to invite.
And how am I able to send it to who I would like to invite?
Claire, do you want to jump in?
Yeah. It'll do, because after you create your Meetup, you can just send to everyone that URL that's specific to your event. And so just forward that around. You can post it on your organization's Facebook page. I think it's pretty easy for people to just go to that site and then click that they've RSVP'd.
So it's to provide the link, but so what's the trick or the trick way in which we quickly get 3 people to acknowledge that they're going to the meeting so it can become a public event?
So the quickest way is I'm going to go to the one that was up here. You would send this URL link to 2 people that you think would be interested in it. You can email this link to this event and say, please go to the Vista Meetup and just RSVP to the event. Once 2 people do that, your event then becomes a part of the main page. URL is created for you, and you can send that out to folks. So this particular one that was announced, if you click on this link right here, can you see me scrolling over it?
Yeah.
When I click on this hot link right here, it has its own link, and you email right from this page to the people that you want to go. So we would do something like, you could email attendees, that's after the event, but right here where it says promote, you can invite friends to the Meetup, and you can have it tied to your Yahoo and your Gmail account if you wanted to have access to all your contacts, or you email them individually. And you would type names.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to. So how do I efficiently get access to my email group that's in my Outlook?
Import it in, or you cut and paste, and they go here. So
it's clumsy. I thought they wait to provide URL.
You can as well. You can go to your Outlook, copy and paste the URL, and put that into the invitation as well. Lisa, how did it work for you?
Well, I know that last time you all had helped me kind of by approving the event. But as well, I would imagine that a lot of people, when they're creating these events, they're doing it knowing that people will be interested. So, for example, I created the Habitat volunteer build because I know my visitors had expressed interest in that, and I already know some of them are going to come. So if I just get 2 of them, then once they're RSVP'd, it kind of takes care of itself from the rest. That meetup gets sent out to everybody, and it's pretty easy for everyone else.
Well, how does it get sent to everyone? You said it sort of takes care of itself. Thoughts for me. How does that exactly happen?
I'm going to keep going.
I'm sure that I understand the question, because it happens from that one button that I showed you, and then type in, you either invite them from the Meetup site, or you can take the URL from the Meetup site and send it out to everybody.
Well, right, I understand that part about taking the URL site, but otherwise, all the other visitors have to register, or you have to put their email addresses?
If they're not already a member, what we're doing is we're encouraging the visitors to, in fact, join this site, in which case it's a one-click deal for you, and all you have to do is click and the email out to all of the members who are a member of the Vista Meetup community. That's one way to do it. If you're not a member of the Vista Meetup community, then from your invite, you will send out to them. It encourages them to click on and join, and it also has all of the invitation information as part of the email. So the point is, with the 177 now, with 177 members, we're building a community where when there is a meetup, it makes it very easy for them to see what's happening in their local community. But we're working with the state offices, and they're doing a great job helping us to build this community so that it's not as cumbersome.
You build, but the numbers are going to go out to all 177, or the number's growing?
One more time?
That then get listed and Meetup are then going to go to all 177 or greater?
Yes. Then opt out. If you don't want emails, you can opt out and not get the email. But part of being a part of the Vista community is that you are staying on top of some of the events that are happening around the country. Does that help? Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, it sounds like a shotgun, though. But yeah, I understand.
Great. Anybody else have any questions?
Again, if you would like to ask a question, press star 1 on your telephone keypad. We will pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster.
So it's like Lucy said that she feels like Facebook is the best option with working with students, but she would like to use one of these to plan a service learning meetup in her area. Lucy, that's a great idea, and that's one of the ways that we envision using the Meetup site is to for outreach specifically for those kind of things. Now, Lucy, I hope you're still on the call, because my question is, do you think Facebook's better for students because it skews younger? I'm just curious why you would think it's better. And then I'm not arguing with you one way or the other. I agree with you, but I'm just curious to know why you think that it's such. So while she's doing that, are there any other questions?
One more from the chat feature. Becky would like to know how you advertise to use these tools in rural communities.
Well, that's a great question. So one of the things that we have to talk about is these are online tools for face-to-face meetings, and it takes it for granted, and one of them is that they have access to be online. So in the rural areas, if they are not able to get on an email, then one of the other ways that you could use to promote it is to your regular, I'm sorry, someone's talking to me, is to use your regular mailing. And so what Meet does do is provide you with logos and different things that you can use if you wanted to do a regular invite. I'm not sure if that gets to your question, but part of the problem with what we're doing is hoping that in a rural area that they are online and they do have access to these tools, and this will help galvanize people and pull them together, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to reach out to them.
Great. So do we have any questions on the line?
Further questions at this time?
All right. I'm going to turn it over to Sharon, and she's going to do a little bit of housekeeping for us.
Thank you. Well, there are a few things to keep in mind
when you use social media tools and when you're online. And one of those is that you need to remember that there are restrictions on political activity for federal government employees and employees of certain state and government agencies, which is you as a VISTA. Also remember that you're representing VISTA and you need to be tasteful and appropriate. Please stay safe online. Certain things like keeping your passwords safe and not sharing them with anyone else, and blocking those unwanted users who may be harassing you for some reason, allowing others to draw you into conflict. Watch what you say online and never use a work account for personal use or vice versa. We're going to take a look at what's available on the VISTA campus. So weeks, we